The following presentation is a production of Ride the Wave Media.
Hello, welcome to Practically Magic. I am your host, Courtney Pearl, and today we are doing a combined episode with
Amanda McCombs, Not So Genius, from the inner workings of the Not So Genius mind.
Yeah! We did a combined, we did an interview type in my first season back in February. So we thought it would be so cool to do this together and then just kind of catch up. Like a recorded catch-up fest.
Yeah. A lot of life has happened.
It was happened from February to November in the same year, and it's only been a year. I mean, it's only been all in the same year. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Life's not even a year. How long is it?
And I promise, so those of you who can see us on
9
YouTube,
months.
if you're watching, we did not plan outfits at all. We were just like, let's hop on. Let's get on this Zoom call and bam.
Go grab my hat.
Today. I was like, oh my gosh, we both have our green sweaters on today, our witches hats, our hair is like wavy and curly, which I never do curly. She always is good about curling her hair.
I have to tame it somehow.
I love it. I would
Out of
too.
control. Yay.
All right, so we're gonna start with our card pulling. I typically start my episodes this way, so I've invited Amanda to pull a card as well. Do you want to start us off? What deck are you going to?
So I have Oracle of the Mermaids. I pulled the card. I haven't looked at it yet. And this is a new deck for me, so I don't know what any of it means. And you can tell me better than I do, like I know. If I pull it upside down, it means one thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Usually if it's tarot,
it's
but
reversed.
I don't. Yeah, the reverse.
That's why I'm like, I don't know if it works. Oh. Do you remember last time when you were like, this one kind of looks like you, and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
So this one is telepathy. Nonverbal communication, energetic pulses, and mind reading. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. And we did that today.
I know.
Oh my gosh. We are in the zone.
Oh my gosh.
That's
crazy.
Web.
Okay, I'm going to see if there's any other meaning to this while you... Oh, it's card number 30. Well, you pull yours, because I have no idea.
I'm using the lunar deck, the lunar oracle. We are paying attention to the cycles of the moon for my full moon course.
Oh, yeah, I'm in that.
So I'm like, I should pull from the lunar deck and see. Tonight is the third quarter moon. Of course, those listening, it'll be a later date, so don't worry about that. But for the time we're recording this, it is the third quarter. I'm just going to pull. This says, it's a full moon card. It says, failure is a side effect of effort and can be learned from. That's the affirmation. So,
okay.
That's really, really applicable to this month. I don't know how your October is going, but those of us who are kind of in the speak the mystical language, we've been kind of conversing, those of us, and we're like, October's kicking our butt, guys.
Yeah.
So
I'm exhausted. I'm ready. Oh, and then like right before we were recording, they just came to hang up my Christmas lights, and it isn't even Halloween yet. They're not plugging them in. We're just hanging them up. One holiday at a time, one season at a time, right?
I know. We're living in like right here in this moment. This episode is going to come out in November, and we're thinking about Christmas already. So it's...
I know. What the heck?
It's a lot. So what does your card say? What is your card
Oh
about?
my gosh. So, well, it just talks about how we're able to feel other people's auras. Hold on, let me grab it. Which I think is really true. We've talked about that a lot. Once you could all speak without a sound being made, and the sounds you did make were sacred, purposeful, and full of intent. Now we hear you speak and speak, saying nothing, using air to create sounds to fill a void. But none of you understanding the hearts of others as well as you might. When you begin to reconnect with the sea and the shore and the creatures that swim beneath the two worlds, you will begin to understand all peoples and beings' communications without the words you love to use and use and use. I mean, it's really long. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
But it's all about...
Is that, Courtney, you need to shut up. Stop talking so much. Stop filling all the space with words. Sometimes it's okay to not have words. Sometimes it's okay to be silent. And just listen.
You can speak with your energy, right?
Yeah. I don't do that enough.
I do that with my son. I'm like, look in my face. Can you tell what I'm feeling right now? Do I look like I'm happy?
Yeah, we moms get All right. So our intention for this episode today is to reconnect and kind of give an update on growth over this last year. So what do you feel like? So before we talked on the last episode, you were getting ready for the pageant, and you can kind of update us on how that all went for you. And
oh my goodness, it was a crazy ride. So I'm pretty sure there's some parts where I was on stage and I just kind of was like there and I was focused on what I was doing, and then I would go and sit behind the curtain and be like, like, nobody talk to me. I need to breathe. I need to focus. Well, and you talked about learning from failure, right? Yeah. And we wanted to talk about growth. So I obviously didn't win the pageant. I didn't win any special awards or anything, but I learned a lot. And I'm doing it again. So at the end of March, I'm going to be back up there. Like I liked it enough, and I wasn't so scared that I wouldn't do it again. But I learned so much about myself, and I met some really amazing people that just want to do really good things. Yeah. And it just pushed me to be better. Like we talk a lot about service and self-improvement and things like that. So it isn't just about like looking pretty in a gown. You have to be able to back it up, right? And then, so like the scoring, it's half of it is interview, and you only get 4 minutes with each judge, and it's like you're speed dating. So you have that long to make an impression, and that part covers half your score.
Oh my gosh.
And then the next day is when, so like the interviews, nobody sees the interviews. Those are pretty private. And then the next day is when, we're doing our costumes and the evening gown and opening number and all that stuff.
Wow.
And it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. Like, we were just on a stage in a high school. It wasn't anything super crazy. And then I actually, Chelsea Rasmussen won. I think the second I sat down next to her, it was about a year ago, Christmas time. I sat down next to her and I was like, oh, she's going to win. I know it. I can just tell she's going to win. What am I even doing here? But she immediately came down and sat next to me and was just so kind and welcomed me. And neither one of us had done a pageant before. So we bonded over that. And a lot of us, even though we didn't win, we went to Vegas in August. And that's when they did freaking Mrs. America, like Miss Congeniality. What the heck? That was so cool.
Yeah. That's
it was,
exciting.
I got to go down and with a bunch of other ladies, and I got to meet some really cool people and just hang out in Vegas for a few days. I drove down there by myself, which is not something I would ever do. And before I left, I was like, every time I've gone to Vegas, I've always gone with kids. Yeah, my teenager's over here waving her hand because she did a bunch of cheer competitions down there. Or, you know, there's usually a reason I'm going down to Vegas that involves kids or family, or like my husband would go down there for work and I'd be pregnant and I couldn't really go do Vegas. So do you know what I did?
What?
I went to the museums.
Even better. That's probably what I would do now. At this point in my life, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not like,
You're such a mom.
no, it's
I did go to the pool. I went to the pool and I did have a drink and I like hung out with some of the ladies from the pageant. That was really fun. But really like
name.
I went and saw the King Tut exhibit they have down there because I used to teach in first grade at Early Light. I used to teach ancient Egypt, and we did a replica of King Tut's throne. And ever since I taught first grade over there, I love ancient Egypt. I wish I don't have the throne anymore. Anyway, and then I saw the Titanic exhibit. Wait, it's at your house?
Yeah, my dad. So my dad has like a couple of different Sphinx things.
Oh my gosh, really?
He likes to mow the lawn in them because it keeps the sun off his neck. And he dressed up the skeletons in front of our house as a queen of Egypt.
I saw.
He built himself a chariot, but he can't get it out of the backyard because it doesn't fit through the gate. If he ever listens to this episode, which I'm sure he won't, but I'll just lay it all out there. He loves ancient Egypt, though. So
he and I could talk forever. I have tons of National Geographics that are all about it and like all the history behind it because there was so much. They're learning so much over there still.
Yeah.
And I actually got into contact with an Egyptologist, and they came and
fun.
talked to the kids at school and did a slideshow and showed all these different pyramids and mummies and stuff. It was really, really cool.
So cool. That's what we have. We were both teachers at one point. My teaching career was quite a few years ago, but I taught grade, and so there's just a part of you that's always like excited to share that kind of stuff with like students, little guys.
I love learning things. It never stops. And then the Titanic exhibit was really cool. I've always loved the history with the Titanic.
Oh, I would have totally done that if the last time we were little kids. So we didn't do it because I was like, well, I'm not going to bring little kids with me, but I want to go in there so bad.
They have a replica of the Grand Staircase. Oh! And they have a big piece from the Titanic that they brought up. And you think like they have they have like the big piece there, and then they have like a little plaque that says, this is where it came from. And you zoom in and it's like this tiny, tiny little section of the ship. So you get to see like how big it was. Crazy huge.
Well, that's how I would pair it up in Vegas too right now. At this point in my life, that sounds so... In bed by 9, I would be...
It was so good. Well, and you think like when you do the pageant, there's like a sleepover, and it's really just us having like, we hang out and we have snacks and we do a gift exchange, and they get us all matching pajamas and we get like blankets and stuff. But then we have the pageant the next day, and hair and makeup starts at like 4:30 in the morning. So we can't stay up late and party. We have to like be all pretty.
But what a great opportunity. I mean, even just, it kind of reminds me of Miss Congeniality, because you think that these girls are going to be competitive, or you think they're going to be,
right.
I mean, I'm just pulling from my experiences from high school, is like, girls who are pretty are sometimes not nice to you, and they're competitive and they're catty. But that's not what the pageant is like at all. I mean, it sounds like it's just so It's you call them. What did you call it? Sash
Oh,
sister?
Sash Sisters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I love that.
we all kind of show up for each other. And a big part of it, like, yes, you look pretty, but
Of
a
course.
big, of course, like that's part of it. You have to do all this hair and makeup and the dresses and the whatever.
Yeah.
But already, so I signed up immediately, like as soon as it was time to sign up to do it again. And I think we have 20 Mrs. competitors right now.
Oh,
I don't know how many Miss. Miss is just anybody that's not married. So if there's anyone listening that's not married that wants to do it, applications are open. Come party with us. But I've already done a lot of really cool service things just from being signed up and networking with people that also want to go out and serve. And I think a lot of us talk about how, like, we just had a dinner all together. And we talked about our why, like, what's your why for doing the pageant? And a lot of us talked about the community and meeting each other and being able to, like, have those people that you can go to if you need something.
yeah.
But I've gone and I've, like, there's USANA Kids Eat. We pack food for kids to have over the weekends that are low income, that maybe don't have the resources to get food at home. And what else did I do? There's been a couple fundraisers that I've gone to. I went to the Equality Gala. Just all oh, look here, hold on. Who's that? Put on the sash. Ta-da! My new sash is here, so I can be like officially Mrs. Daybreak.
That'd be
Check
awesome.
me
If
out.
I already have so much on my plate, I'm like, should I maybe think about joining up for this or doing something like this? And I'm like, I'm not going to compete against Mrs. Daybreak. Who would
Well,
I?
and it's not like competing.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
It kind of is. It's just a title change. So I get to keep being Mrs. Daybreak as long as I want to be in the pageant. I signed up because I was like, heck yes, I want to keep my title. That's a hella cool title. Even though initially I was like, this is terrifying. What am I doing? People are scary. Why are they paying attention to me?
Yep. Yep.
It's scary.
It sounds super fun until it's everyone looking at you. And then you're like, oh,
Oh my gosh.
now I have to be this. Turn it all on, right? No, I
Here's
think
a
it's great.
light.
You take the title of Mrs. Daybreak, all you want. You got it. You earned it. It's yours. I'll be
claimed it.
Daybreak's local witch.
Yeah.
And we'll just ride that train for as long as we can.
I need you on my team.
Yes, and when you talk about opportunities to serve, that is something that I put so much on my plate this year. When thinking about growth or how my last year's been, I've been so excited to be doing this podcast. It's been so fun, but I think sometimes I've been putting so much on my plate that I'm like, yes to this and yes to this and yes to that. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no time for anything, including service, including like, how can I get involved in my community and help in some way or offer something I have?
Yeah.
And so, sometimes it takes like getting to the point where you're like, wow, I'm really burning out and I'm so busy and I've got way too much on my plate. And then you go, okay, now it's time to pull back. Now it's time to start emptying my plate, and then I can fill it with what I really want it to look like, right?
Oh, sorry about the nail scratch. I quit my job.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to. I've been really sick. And I've been doing all kinds of doctor's appointments and things like that. And I needed to take time to heal. Like at the beginning of the school year last year, my mom died. And at the end of the school year, we put my dad on hospice. And my world just kind of got turned upside down. That was after the pageant.
Yeah.
Like by Christmas time, by Thanksgiving last year, my dad wasn't my dad anymore. Oh, but like
couldn't believe it when you were saying what was going on with your dad, and after we'd already done our interview with like, this is all the things that have happened in the last year, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Really?
I know.
About your dad? I was like, oh, if anybody needs some good energy and positivity, I'm sending it all your way.
Oh, thank you. I heckin' need it. And like so I still have problems with this whole part of my face. Like I can't really feel it because that's where I have my shingles. So like,
yeah,
my whole world just over the last couple years has kind of been slowly falling apart. But I think it's so that they can come together a different way. And I'm learning to find my voice, and I'm like figuring out who I am, because part of being able to do these opportunities, this service stuff, is networking and talking to other people. Because maybe there isn't like a way that you can serve right now. Maybe it's not the right opportunity, but maybe there's something out there. But it's okay to have to put your energy to other things because that's needed elsewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things my mom always talked about when she was sad was serving other people. So when you're feeling down, go help somebody else. And that I put a lot of that energy into doing the pageant. And so I think when I am able to go do these things, like packing bags for USANA Kids Eat so that kids can have meals over the weekend, or helping with donation drives, or I think last year around Christmas, we had at the school, we just opened the doors and we had a bunch of donations for local refugees because we have a huge refugee population locally. So
Yes.
I had families come and get diapers, and I had 2 whole frozen turkeys. I was able to deliver a whole turkey meal to somebody. And it wasn't like I wasn't all over Facebook and all over social media saying like, look at what I'm doing. Like I'm doing all this stuff. Like I went and a lady had it was Christmas Day, I think Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. And she had just gotten out of the hospital and wasn't able to get Christmas gifts for her family. And I asked what her family liked, and I went and got stuff.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's the kind, that's what holidays are to me. And so, did we talk about my mom's house burning down?
Yeah. I think
think
that's
so.
when everything like that, you were going and
Yeah.
going through everything at the time that we talked. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
We did talk a lot about your mom's message of like her final words to you being
taking care of myself.
care of yourself. And that's something that's been coming up a lot for me lately is I won't have room to care for anyone else. I can't. Well, it's like you bring up the holidays. That's a really, really good thing to highlight, because for most of us, especially moms, I'm just going to put it out there. Moms listening, it usually falls on moms to make sure magic happens during Christmas time, that the gifts are there. That
Game on your phone?
Hold on just a second.
my
My little guy. Here, booty. That's my Ragnar. Okay, go. He has been dying to play. You know the Kinder Eggs?
Yes.
And they have like a little toy inside and you can scan it. He likes to play on it. I'm going to take that off. And still misses daybreak. It does fall on the moms.
Yeah, and there's so much. And that's why a lot of us women and moms especially, we get really depressed around Christmas time, because it's not a slow down and relax like it should be. Like the weather's getting colder, the nights are longer, and we're supposed to be going into hibernation mode, and we're combating that energy with, I got to make sure the lights are up,
Everything's
all the
perfect and
things.
pretty. Everybody gets what they want.
Yeah. Is it magical? Is there going to be enough, magic when they wake up Christmas morning and they have what they asked for, or at least some of the things they asked for, whatever you can do. But it's like, when you get in that mode and you're so focused on that and you're not actually thinking about what do I need, you can't have the time and energy to go pick up an extra turkey and dinner and go deliver that to someone who needs it. And so like sometimes it's about pulling back so that you can be there in the ways that count or the ways that like actually matter, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, and then like deciding not to go back this school year was really, really hard because it's something that I love to do. I find teaching and being with kids so fulfilling and we have a great time. But I, like for my physical and mental health, I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
There was no way.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that I'm in a situation where I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
And not everybody is able to. But like, so when my mom's house burned down, like the holidays are kind of depressing for me anyway. My mom still had Christmas decorations up in her house. And so I've been going through the trailers and seeing what is left because before she died about 6 months after the house fire. And she had gone through the rubble to pull out, what do you grab when your house is burned down? You grab whatever you can.
Yeah.
So I've been bringing it down and going through it, and man, there's all kinds of random stuff. There's tons of Christmas decorations, but like it's healing. And but at the same time, like I have to let it all go.
Yeah. I
can't keep all this stuff. And then, so the holidays, like we kind of changed how we do the holidays at our house, and we focus more on having an experience that we can share together. We don't talk about like the stuff that we're going to get. Usually we go have an adventure. Like last year we went to the Oregon coast. I was talking to my 8-year-old about what she wanted for Christmas, and she said all she really wanted was like everybody to have matching Christmas jammies and to have Christmas morning together.
That's it.
It was so cute. Like they don't need all this stuff.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
So.
Because I will just tell you, we just did we have kind of like another Christmas in summer because all my kids' birthdays are in June. So it feels like, we got like everybody, gifts and whatever. And we did get things in summertime that we thought they would like.
Yeah.
Things to ride around the neighborhood in and like whatever. And already they're like, I don't want that. You can sell that. I want to give it up. I want something else. And I'm like, yeah, not worth it.
Well, we don't wait for a holiday to get a toy. Sometimes we'll use it for a reward or something, but if there's something that we're wanting, we'll get it. And Christmas time, like we really focus a lot with our family, at least, on being there for other people and looking at ways that we can serve, right?
Yeah. I think that's a much better memory builder and value builder for a family.
Well, and traditions can get stressful too.
Yes. I know.
Right? Make sure you've moved that elf. Does Santa have his cookies? What are we putting in the stockings?
We don't allow the elf
You have
in
to
our
go
house.
to all the I think that is so creepy.
I told the kids I work really hard to ward our house from elves, so I'm not inviting one in.
Yeah, we're not like thanks.
I have certain, we have a house gnome that takes care of and protects our house all throughout the year. We give him offerings of food and cookies.
Cute.
And I'm like, but he doesn't move around or do anything. We don't touch him. He just
stays there.
Yeah. And I'm like, otherwise, I'm not letting the Fae into our house. Do you have any idea how tricky the Fae are? I'm not letting them in.
They are nuts. I have a I go down rabbit holes every once in a while, and I get like sucked into podcasts. And I've been listening to this one. What is it called? Oh, and That's Why We Drink. But it's real. I am like, they have been recording for years. And so I decided to go back to the beginning. And I love it because one of them does like a paranormal type story, and then the other one will do like a true crime story. And they tell them to each other because one of them loves, the one that loves true crime does true crime, and the other one that loves paranormal does paranormal.
Yeah.
And they talk about all kinds of stuff. They've talked about changelings and, well, those freak me out. And like all kinds of fae things and aliens. And anyway, they're fun to listen to. But they talked a lot about changelings, and those scary.
Exactly. You don't want to get involved in all that, for
Especially if something's supposed to move around by itself. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, you're sleeping. That's fine. That's fine.
A little creepy. Well, I have the last episode of Practically Magic that hasn't come out yet. You haven't seen it, but we're talking about puppets, and I have my puppets here. And puppets they can do no harm, but they are an invocation of a spirit in a doll or doll-like.
Oh.
So when you were talking about
That's
not
interesting.
feeling well, and you were getting ready to go to Vegas, but you were not feeling well at the time, and I'm like, I'm
made me a
leaving for a
friend.
puppet. Yes, and I love it because I was like, she took it with her to Vegas. Like,
It's still sitting on my dash.
so they're supposed to be good. They can do no harm. They're just
That's
there for
good.
healing.
Okay,
But if you
thank
ever want to like give her, they love trinkets. So I always like offer them little trinkets. Mine has like there's a little wooden love thing.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
Dollhouse.
The one you gave me, man, I should have grabbed the one you gave me. It has the cute little mermaid thing on it. But
put
so
it
I drive a Jeep, and it sits up there with all my ducks.
Yeah. But no, she's kind of like your travel spirit. She's your, like, you bring me with you if you need me, kind of a healing energy is what it's supposed to be. It's
Very
invoked
healing.
and not
you.
going to do any kind of tricky stuff in the night. Nothing like that.
Oh, yeah, no.
Speaking of healing, Amanda has agreed to do a little energy session with us today. We're going to just check. So this is kind of a good way to demonstrate Reiki energy and how this works. So I'm going to introduce you for those of you who are watching on YouTube, because if you're just listening, you won't be able to see, but I have Reiki Bear here. So energy healers, like ones that do Reiki, we usually have something that can act as a proxy for someone who's not in the space. So those of clients or people that are doing Reiki energy from a distance over the phone or online, I have Reiki Bear for my Reiki room, and I'm doing healing work. So we're going to have Reiki Bear be a proxy for Amanda. All
Is
right.
there any way that I should have my body?
No specific way. I mean, normally if I was doing a full session, I would be like, lay on a bed, get comfortable. So you're just as comfortable as can
I'll
be.
stay here. Okay.
But where you're at now, I can use my pendulum, and we're going to actually measure your chakras or energy centers, I prefer to call them. And we're just going to see for how you're doing right now and any like energy work that you need done to kind of help balance you. So we talked about growth over the last several months, all of the things that have happened and you've been through and you're going through. And then this is going to give us an idea of like, what is it that you need now? Like, what is maybe off balance, or what might you need? So we're going to start with I'm going to move this here so that the camera can see. We're starting with the root. And so what we're looking for is we need to see that the energy centers are moving in a circle. Right? Chakra is Sanskrit for wheel, so it's supposed to look like a wheel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
on the camera, that is moving pretty good. My hand is not moving, but the pendulum is moving, and it's in a nice, neat circle. So you're very grounded, right?
Yes.
That's good. You're in a space right now where you feel like I'm embodied. I'm in my body. Someone else is exciting.
Not.
I love it. Okay. Let's take a look at your sacral.
So going from the bottom up.
Yes. That looks good. Nice job. You are nice and
I feel like I'm getting gold stars.
Gold stars for you, girl. You are rocking it. Yeah. A+ for root, A+ for chakra, or for sacral. Yeah. Chakra. Okay, we're going to look at the solar plexus. Okay. So this is where I would probably say we need a little work. If you were blocked in the solar plexus.
Where is that on my body? Is that like my belly button?
Yeah, so they'll be right above the belly button. It's kind of the center of the body. Okay. And the central chakra is the heart, but this is kind of more like the center of your physical body. So,
okay.
Yeah, right above the belly button, right in the center, and this is kind of where like your personal power comes from, like where you feel the confidence, self-worth, strength, capability. It is kind of more geared towards self-love than like the flow of love. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're going to think of some affirmations that would help get that moving. So we're going to think of like, you said, I am strong and capable.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to write these down.
You can kind of decide what resonates with you most. So as I say these, if there's one in particular that you're like, oh, that's what I need right now, think about that. So,
okay.
Capable. I like to use the word warrior. I am a warrior, goddess, princess, queen of the world.
Heck yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, it's already moving. Hold on. Let me start that again. It's also associated with a flame, a yellow flame, or like the light of the sun. So the more you can think about that as like a burning, bright yellow flame, and imagine and visualize that you're just invoking that energy into your aura, into your body. Okay. All right, let's try that.
Okay.
Now, sit. I am strong and capable.
I am strong and capable.
I know my self-worth.
I know my self-worth.
Now keep infusing that with yellow light. Imagine it right in the center of your body. And little by little, the pendulum is moving now. And it's moving in a circle rather than back and forth, which is good. So that is what we want to happen.
Cool. I'm still kind of finding my voice.
Yeah, like let's do that.
Figuring out.
We're going to go straight to the throat chakra and check that out.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ragnar, baby. Too loud. Can you close the door or something? Sorry. He's so excited on my phone. Clearly. Okay.
So again, this is not moving right now, which means it's a little bit blacked. It's moving because I moved it, but yeah. I want to experiment with affirmations like, I speak my truth.
Oh, I like that. I speak my truth.
My needs and wants deserve to be heard.
My needs and wants deserve to be heard. I think that one is really hard.
But already it's moving. So it's not resisting that, which is good. You're like, I need that. I mean, you can tell, right? You can feel the energy go, ooh, I feel that. I connect with that. That resonates with me. So repeating that affirmation and then visualizing the color of sky blue, an aquamarine, or a turquoise color. And just invoking that into your throat, into your ears. So when you're meditating or visualizing that, that's what you want to invite. That's what you want to fill your cauldrons. I like to use cauldrons because that's more of the Celtic come from when you talk about chakras. But most people know them as chakras. So I kind of refer to them as both so people know what I'm talking about. Like, fill your cauldron. Fill your cauldron. All right.
I just bought my first cauldron, but I filled it with candy.
I miss when Target had them. They had a whole bunch of like actual metal cauldrons at Target.
Yeah. I got one at Home Goods.
Wow, I gotta go to Home Goods. I gotta give me another cauldron.
Or wait. No, was it Kohl's? One of the two. I can't remember. I think it was Kohl's.
It was Kohl's.
I have a plastic one for decorations, this time of year, but I don't have like an actual one that I really need. Yeah. I just have a copper bowl that I use for my spells.
I love it. I think a lot of moms, like me included, just kind of feel some shame when we are not getting our needs met, but we're not willing to speak up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we have to like hold ourselves together and do the things for everybody else, make sure everyone else is okay.
Yep. The throat chakra is definitely one that I see a lot that needs a little extra love and care, especially for women. I don't see it as often with men, but that's just my experience.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the solar plexus, with that personal power aspect, it can look very different in men and women. I mean, men can walk around looking like they have a lot of self-confidence. And then when you are doing energy work with them, you realize that it's all a mask and that they're, in need of that. So I love when men get a chance to, break the barrier of what they think is normal and to try an energy work session with me, because then they get to be like, oh, wow, you really see me and I'm allowed to be vulnerable and express my weaknesses and where I'm struggling and get some healing work. Get that cleared, right?
Yeah. Well, awesome. We all have different love languages and things like that. It's kind of hard to know what somebody else needs if they don't know either.
Right? Yeah. And that's part of the work that I do, especially when I'm doing energy work with people, is a lot of times they'll come and do a session and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was what was going on. Like I knew I was struggling, or I knew there was something I couldn't quite get what I needed. And I kept running into these like blocks or these patterns that I kept falling into. But it isn't until you have a little help. And that's all it really is. I mean, energy work or whatever, you want to call what I do. It's like, I'm not here to be a guru and tell you how to live your life. I'm just here to tell you, like, help you through your own.
You're like a facilitator.
Yes, exactly.
My friend has some affirmations that she, I don't know where she gets them from. I should ask her because she does my lashes. I'm in her bathroom a lot. But she gets a dry erase marker and she writes her affirmations on her mirror.
I think that's an excellent idea. Yeah.
So I might take one or both of these, and my husband will be like, what the heck? And
you know what I'll do? I'll do what I do for clients typically after a session is I have some lists of affirmations that are specific to energy centers, and I will snap a photo of like, here's a list.
Thank you.
And then just, take the ones that you feel like, oh, yep, that one is for sure for me. Like I want that one. And then you can put those ones specifically on your mirror. I highly recommend that. And I just think even like eating foods or having that color around is a really great way to integrate that into your
the yellow
your
and the
aura,
blue and the turquoise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
cool.
The stuff, jewelry or whatever it is that you particularly like. And that's where like crystals can come into play too, is people like to go, this feels like the one that's going to help me.
I know. I'm like looking to see what I have. I don't have any right now.
I do like to enjoy myself with stones and crystals whenever possible.
I know. I usually have like all kinds of things on my fingers, but I just got my basic stuff. Nothing. Anyway.
All right.
That was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being my demo today. I wanted to make sure that you got a little extra love and care as we're talking about, what you've been through and the growth of this year. I think it's appropriate that, also I show that there's ways to send that good energy to you and get you all balanced.
Kind of helps me shift my mindset.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, it's a good way to do that for sure. So, and if anyone's interested in booking a session with me, you can go to prism-healing.com and do an energy session with me, a card reading session, a quick 30-minute wellness plan if you would like. And you can find me on social media at prism_healing on Instagram, and TikTok is at Prism Healing, and Facebook is Courtney Pearl's Prism Healing. Where can people find you? If they're looking to maybe follow your journey with the Mrs.
All of my things.
Yeah.
So I have, you can follow me on Instagram. That's probably where I'm the most active, at Not So Genius. And if you search Not So Genius on most platforms, you can probably find me. My podcast is The Inner Workings of the Not So Genius Mind. You can find it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen. Audible. I love Audible.
Yep. And to follow both of us, you can go
to
YouTube on Ride the Wave Media and find not just our podcast, but all the great podcasts on the network.
Yeah, we have a whole network of amazing people.
We really are amazing.
So excited. I was going to ask you, because I'm doing your full moon course, right? Do you have any spots left, or is that full?
I may have a spot left.
You may have a spot. Okay. I was just wondering.
And I am going to start a new one again at the end of this course. So with the group we have now, we're going to have the 6 people that are in that nice and intimate, so we can all get really close together. And then when the 6 month is up, I'm going to start another 6 months one at the end. So
I really like it. Both of the ones that I think I've done 2 different healing art exercise type things with you, and I've really liked those. So you guys should check them out. It's very healing, very cool. It's a very cool process.
I try to make sure people know it's not an art class. You're not meant to be. It's a healing class. We're going through the cycles of healing and cycles of the full moon throughout 6 months. And it's going to be a great thing. This is my first time offering it as a 6-month course. I've done the workshops.
I really like it.
But I am so excited.
The main reason I bring it up is because part of it is journaling, right? So I kind of want to put this in with that and track it and see, because we do some journaling with it. That'd be cool.
Yes. And you may even see how some of this plays out in our last session with what affirmations did I need, or when I was replacing energy from what I painted out, what was it that I was in need of? And then how has this last week been in coming into, we're now going into the dark moon. So we're going to talk a lot about descending into the darkness, into the shadow work, which can be
and
kind
twisty.
Yeah. But I love that it kind of coincides with the phases of the moon, so we can kind of track how that feels. Some people feel better during the dark part, and that's when they feel their best. So you never know.
Seclusion is kind of nice for me.
Yeah, I get that.
Peopling is scary sometimes.
For sure.
Ooh, maybe we should end this. Sorry. We did our whole thing, and then I asked you a question.
I know, but that's okay, because now everyone can hear how that's going to go. I didn't want to mention you in the course unless you wanted to reveal that you were in the course.
I love
that's
it.
Up
Yeah.
to you there. So
It's
thank you for mentioning it. But yeah, we'll let everybody go. So this is me signing off. Witches and Wizards, go make magic.
Yay. If you've listened this far, thank you. And take care of yourself. It's a crazy world out there.